And here we go. And it's important I start this video off, of course, looking like a healthy, happy whore in the bed. Because the very subject of this video is actually about not being a whore. Now, I've thought about this video, I've thought about this subject for quite some time. Because I don't want to come across in any way condemning, judgmental, or mean to those that are trapped in the sex worker type industry. You know what I mean? Because I'm sensitive to their struggle, because I work in an industry where I'm a dancer. Obviously, everybody knows I've been dancing for so many years. And within the industry of just being a dancer, of course, many of my coworkers and friends, pimp themselves out further into the world of what's considered a sex worker. Also, we know that, I personally partake in a little bit of OnlyFans. So, like to be too condemning would be completely hypocritical on my part anyway, all right? But what I do want to touch on is the reason why I feel that there is, a much deeper truth to not allowing yourself to be bought for a price. So I don't think human beings should be bought and sold, period. I mean, we're seeing this with the whole Diddy thing, right? TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes only. Yeah. I mean, some of these characters are hilarious, but my talks are always more deep and spiritual, right? So even though it could be for entertainment purposes only, it is actually for you to think deeper about it. Because, for instance, we are all now seeing the tragic unfolding of victims, young victims that were sexually assaulted by, the diddler and all his cohorts that are now being listed and whatnot. And people are like, oh my God, But to many of us that were in the industry of entertainment, like myself, I'm 50 years old right now, and I got into the music industry when I was 17, right? So think about it. That's like 33 years ago. I was in the middle of the industry, and right away, you go to a photographer or a stylist, and while they're adjusting your clothes, your shirt, they'll like brush you down there, and you'll be like, excuse me. They're like, relax, dude, don't be so shy. You're like, yeah, but like easy, And there's a violation that starts happening, and you start to just get used to it, desensitized to it. Hence, even now, I'm a dancer. Where I dance now, I avoid as much of it as possible. But, you know, if I'm doing a very high-priced private dance, there's a certain element of me having to be like, okay, how much do I tolerate, right? Here's what I want to put the cap on. We, as human beings, should be at peace with being inspiration for each other. We should be at peace with, like, there shouldn't be any problem with that being an inspiration for somebody who's like, well, I want muscles, I want to have healthy muscles and skin and body and all that, but we should never be selling our flesh. We shouldn't really be selling each other, okay? Now, some people who are already in the industry and that's what they do, please don't take it in a judgmental, nasty way from me. Take it more from a place of me being a dad that cares about you, okay? That cares about how are you going to form a true relationship with anybody ever that is your person when you've sold yourself so much and now nobody really believes they can actually have you exclusively because you belong to the community. Like recently, somebody said, "Oh, that person, their their community, their 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 organs belong to the community," and I was just like, "Wow!" And it was just another one of those moments where I was like, "Wow." Be grateful not to be a whore. You know what I mean? It's okay to look like one, have fun like one, dance like one, but if you actually go and become one, it's a it's almost like a road that you can't come back from, you know? And there's no like listen, I love the hoes that I know that are like self-professed hoes and that's it. They're gonna be a hoe till the day they die. Oh well, though, they're happy. But if you ever want a real relationship, if you ever really want to be in a situation where you're, healthy as well without being shared for cash or psychologically damaged or abused or physically damaged or abused, you know what I mean? Being such high traffic goods, you may want to like look at yourself with a higher value. It does piss me off when people try to book me as a masseur and they assume that I'm a trick. I'm like, and my Christ like peace of mind comes over me like, because I understand there's so much of that in the world, and I understand that I put out an allure. Like part of it could be my fault, you know what I mean? Like that's just the way it is. I blame myself too, but you know, humans should never be misusing, disrespecting each other, and trying to buy flesh. And here's the reason why I also believe in it not being done is because when a human tries to buy somebody else, first of all, like let's imagine I were to buy a girl. Let's say that was my goal. I'm a dude, I'm going to buy a girl. Um, what did I do to earn her? Like as a character, as a person, did I earn her? No, I didn't. I bought, right? So I bought the flesh. I used the flesh. What did I do? That would be pretty terrible on my part. Like I did nothing to actually earn her. That person doesn't actually love me, or even maybe even doesn't even like me. Maybe that person actually hates me, you know? On the flip side, if I actually have to earn a person, like I have to earn my wife all the time. Like my wife is a particular type of soul that I have to earn her love on a daily basis. Not that she makes it so difficult. It's just that as a character, it is my job under God to be a good person, good father, good husband, kind, respectful, polite, sweet, caring, clean, physical. I have to be all of the characteristics that earn my way into her kingdom so that it keeps me accountable to being a good human being to earn her. If I don't have to earn her and I'm just buying somebody, I've got money here, but I'm a dick, I'm unclean, I don't have a good character, or I don't have very good morals, ethics, or a code. I'm not in good health myself. Multiple things are not right about me, but I've got some money, so I'm going to buy somebody. What does that do? What does that tell you right there? Right away, I've got access to somebody's flesh that they themselves do not find me attractive at all on multiple levels, but they need my money. And therefore, there's an exchange that's taking place. And the reason why I refuse it, and I refused it and left Hollywood, is because I don't like that. I personally find it disgusting. But, you know, it's one of those things, it's a learning curve of life that you figure out like, okay, what's going on here in this world? And like, I can't do that. I can't, I just can't lend myself to that. And I feel like the world is now uncovering this, and thank God it is, and it will expose a lot of it. But I think it's important that it's exposed on multiple levels. You know, even in the industry I'm in, I think it's so important that we keep it entertainment. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with a bit of physical flex and glory and show and inspiration. There's nothing wrong with that, male or female. But where it becomes something wrong is when people are buying people. You know what I mean? And somebody was like, well, that's, you're shaming the sex worker or whatever. I'm like, no, I have compassion and understanding, and there's no judgment and there's no condemnation to the sex worker. But the reality of it is that sex worker has a lot of true pay the Pied Piper circumstances that they're gonna find themselves in. You know what I mean? Like it's not all roses just because they decided to get some money so that they could sell themselves on the market. They've now have a lot of consequences as a result of choosing that, and that those consequences are not they're not echoed enough loudly in society for people to be like, oh my God, I am gonna ruin my chances at true relationships because, and potentially you are going to be at much greater risk for disease, and then people are going to be less likely to want to connect with you. You know what I mean? So there's something beautiful and admirable about monogamy and faithfulness, right? We can all agree. So that's why I'm so happy that I may be out there, hug everybody, dance, shake my booty, do my OnlyFans, but I stay faithful to my wife and have done for 10 years. And I know she's faithful to me, and it's a beautiful energy. You know what I mean? It's a strengthening, healthy energy. That's what I'd say. Strengthening, healthy energy between two individuals that have decided to keep each other safe from outside sexual energy of that union is a union that only my wife and I share, right? And nobody else gets involved in between that. So it stops the energies, and it stops the biological energies getting in between it, and the spiritual energies, and even the electrical energies. All right, there's electrical energy right there. That's an electrical energy. People don't realize that. You do that with something, this is the end of a circuit right here. Nerves. Same with this. And the saliva is a conductant. So when you kiss somebody, you are transferring electrical signals, let alone what goes on down there. So this is why, to me, it is so important to be sexually clean. And yeah, that's why I don't believe in lusting in over anybody else. I just don't believe in it. And I feel like it's a superpower. Once you can get to that space, I think God has blessed you. You're in a sort of superpower place. But I'm not saying it's easy to get to. But I'm saying it should be a potential goal for everybody to get to. And I believe it's attainable to anybody. And I still believe even the person who feels, oh, I'm so far off of that, I'm a whore, could turn their lives around, right? Change, focus, just like anything. Just like the person who's, overweight, 400 or 500 pounds, and you see them turn their life around, and next thing you know, they're a freaking in shape, inspirational bodybuilder. Anything is possible with enough love, right? Which is Christ. Anything is possible with enough Christ, with enough love. Anyway, that's my message.